The top 1% in America aren't just richer than you. They think about money differently. They make decisions differently. They build systems differently. And here's what nobody tells you. 79% of them are completely self-made. According to SoFi's research on top earners, the vast majority of the wealthiest Americans didn't inherit their money. They built it from the same starting position that most people reading this are at right now. So the question isn't whether it's possible. The question is, what exactly are they doing that you aren't? Today, I'm going to tell you, specifically, with real data. Here's the number that should make you stop everything. The average savings rate in the U.S. in 2024 was 4% of income. 4%. The average savings rate of the top 1%? 38%. Nearly 10 times higher. Same economy, same inflation, same interest rates. But the top 1% saves 38 cents of every dollar while the average American saves 4. That single difference, compounded over a career, creates the entire wealth gap. Not inheritance, not luck, not access to secret investments. A savings rate 9.5 times higher. This video is going to give you 6 specific strategies the top 1% use to manage and grow their money. Strategies that don't require being in the top 1% to implement. Some of them you can start today. Some of them will take time to build, but all of them are accessible, and all of them are backed by real research. Let's go. Strategy number 1, and the most foundational. The top 1% pay themselves first. Not in the motivational sense. In the mechanical, automatic, non-negotiable sense. That 38% savings rate doesn't happen by accident. It happens because the money is moved before it can be spent. The moment income arrives, a fixed percentage leaves for investment and savings. Automatically, the checking account never sees it. The brain never battles over whether to spend it. The decision was made once, months, or years ago, and the system executes it every single time. Warren Buffett, who has lived by this principle for over 70 years, framed it simply. Do not say what is left after spending. Spend what is left after saving. This isn't new wisdom, but the research confirms that the top 1% have operationalized it in ways most people haven't. According to Go Banking Rates analysis of what separates the 1% from the upper middle class, frugality, exemplified by figures like Buffett, significantly aids wealth accumulation. Buffett still lives in the house he bought in 1958. His savings rate, even at his income, has always been extraordinary. Your action step: calculate 20% of your take-home pay. Set up an automatic transfer for that exact amount. Moving from your checking account to a separate savings or investment account on the day your paycheck arrives. Not after bills, not after spending. First, financial advisors generally recommend saving at least 20% per SoFi research. You don't have to hit 38% on day one, but starting the system at any percentage changes everything. Strategy number 2, the top 1% do not rely on a single income. According to Tom Corley's research on millionaires, cited by CNBC and multiple financial publications, 65% of self-made millionaires had 3 or more income streams before they became wealthy. The Long Angle 2024 High Net Worth Spending Study, based on data from over 3,000 high net worth individuals, found that the top financial goal for high net worth individuals is achieving financial independence, where passive income is sufficient to support their lifestyle. Not a bigger salary, not a better job. Passive income sufficient to cover their life. What does this look like in practice? For the under $5 million segment of high net worth individuals, which is where most first-generation wealthy people begin, the long angle data shows 62% of portfolios allocated to public equities, index funds, ETFs, dividend-paying stocks. These generate passive income streams that supplement earned income over time. Above $5 million, greater allocation to private equity, venture capital, and real estate. Above $25 million, 38% directly in private businesses. The pattern is clear. As wealth grows, so does portfolio diversification and passive income complexity. Your action step: identify your second income stream. At your current financial level, This likely means dividend-paying index funds, a rental property, freelance income, or a monetized skill. Pick one. Start building it this month. The goal is not to replace your salary immediately. The goal is to begin the pattern. Every high net worth individual built their second income stream before it was significant. Significance came later. The pattern came first. Strategy number 3, and the most structurally unfair advantage the 1% hold. They borrow at institutional rates while you borrow at retail rates. According to Angelo Crocco, CPA and chartered global management accountant quoted by Go Banking Rates. This is one of the defining structural advantages of the top 1%. They leverage credit at institutional rates while the upper middle class pays retail rates. This compounding advantage creates a gap that widens every year. The average American credit card interest rate in 2024, over 21%. The rate wealthy individuals pay for portfolio loans, borrowing against their investment portfolio, often 2 to 4%. How they access cheap borrowing? 3 mechanisms. First, securities-backed loans, borrowing against an investment portfolio at rates far below credit cards, without triggering a taxable event from selling investments. Second, business credit, LLC and corporate credit often comes with better terms than personal consumer credit. Third, real estate leverage, using properties as collateral at mortgage rates rather than credit card rates. Go Banking Rates documents this clearly. The 1% also get private briefings, pre-IPO deals, and tailored tax shelters that multiply wealth faster than standard investment options. The system is tilted. Understanding the tilt helps you navigate it. Your action step: stop all high-interest borrowing immediately. Every dollar you pay in credit card interest at 21% is a dollar your investment account didn't receive. Before any investment strategy, eliminating consumer debt is the highest return move available. Then, as your investment portfolio grows, explore securities-backed lines of credit. Available through most major brokerages at significantly lower rates than retail credit. This is how the system works. Now use it. Strategy number 4. The mindset shift that changes everything. The top 1% think in assets, not income. Most Americans think, how do I earn more? The top 1% think, how do I acquire assets that generate income? This is not a subtle distinction. It changes every financial decision you make. Robert Kiyosaki described this as the core difference between the rich and everyone else in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Assets put money in your pocket, liabilities take it out. But beyond the book, the Capgemini World Wealth Report 2024, based on data from over 3,000 high net worth individuals globally, confirms this in their portfolio data. The wealthy hold their wealth in assets. Not cash, not salary, assets. In practice, every spending decision the top 1% make is filtered through one question. Does this acquire an asset or reduce one? Buying a house, an asset, if structured correctly. Buying a car, a depreciating liability in most cases. Tom Corley's multimillionaire research found that 79% of wealthy people drove used or moderately priced vehicles. Not because they couldn't afford better, because they think in assets, and a luxury car is not one. The 2024 long-angle high net worth study confirms that even among those with $5 to $25 million in net worth, spending is disciplined. Wealth isn't displayed, it's compounded. Your action step before your next major purchase: ask one question. Is this an asset or a liability? Does it generate income or consume it? You don't have to eliminate all lifestyle spending, but applying this filter consciously on every decision above $500 begins to rewire how you think about money. Over time, that rewiring creates the behavior that creates the wealth. Strategy number 5, and the one that widens the gap most invisibly. The top 1% don't just earn more. They keep more because they understand and use the tax code in ways most Americans never learn. Go Banking Rates documented this directly. The 1% get access to tailored tax shelters that multiply wealth faster than standard investment options. This isn't illegal. Every strategy is available within the existing tax code, but the average American uses none of them beyond the standard deduction. 5 specific tax strategies the 1% use that are available to everyone. 1. Maxing out tax-advantaged accounts. 401k, Roth IRA, HSA. The 2024 contribution limits: $23,000 for a 401k, $7,000 for a Roth IRA, $4,150 for an HSA. Done correctly, these alone can reduce your taxable income by over $30,000 per year. 2. Tax loss harvesting, selling losing investments to offset gains, reducing your annual tax bill. 3. Holding investments longer than 1 year. Long-term capital gains rates of 0, 15, or 20% versus ordinary income rates up to 37%. 4. Real estate depreciation, legally reducing taxable income through property ownership. 5. Qualified opportunity zone investments, deferring capital gains by investing in designated development areas. Your action step. This week, verify that you are contributing enough to your 401k to capture your full employer match. If you haven't opened a Roth IRA, open one today at Fidelity, Vanguard, or Schwab. And if you have taxable investment gains, speak with a CPA about tax loss harvesting before year-end. You don't need a private wealth manager to access these strategies. You need the knowledge, which you now have. Strategy number 6, and the one that precedes everything else. The top 1% invest aggressively in their own knowledge, skills, and network. Tom Corley's research found that 88% of self-made millionaires read at least 30 minutes of self-improvement material daily. Mark Zuckerberg, Richard Branson, and Mark Cuban, according to CNBC, all cite reading as the single habit most responsible for their success. The 1% treat their own human capital as their first and most important investment. Because a person who earns $60,000 a year cannot save their way to wealth as fast as a person who earns $120,000. Self-investment is the multiplier on everything else. The Capgemini World Wealth Report 2024, drawing on 3,000 plus high net worth respondents, found that wealth management strategies among the ultra-wealthy consistently emphasize long-term positioning over short-term gains. This long-term orientation begins with self-investment, developing skills that increase earning capacity, building networks that open doors, making decisions today based on where they want to be in 10 years, not 10 months. This is the final and most powerful distinction. The average person optimizes for next month. The top 1% optimize for the next decade. Same time, completely different orientation, completely different outcomes. 6 strategies. Save first. Automate 20% minimum. Build multiple income streams. Start with 1 more this month. Borrow cheap. Eliminate consumer debt. Then access institutional credit as your portfolio grows. Think in assets. Filter every major purchase. Own the tax code. Max your tax-advantaged accounts today. Invest in yourself. Read 30 minutes every morning before your phone. None of these require being in the top 1%. They're how people get there. And they're available right now to you. If this video gave you something real, share it with one person who needs to hear it. Subscribe for research-backed financial content every week. And drop in the comments, which of these 6 strategies will you implement first? I read every single one. See you in the next one.